dribble and open up. Way back. Just necessitate the switch on him, be ready to react to it, but open up. He's got the ball and he hits him. We got to worry about hitting. He's slicing. We're looking for you to give us help, right? Forward, Becker. 7. They hit. We're going to switch on this thing here. Okay, good. This forward now, whoever the forward is, could be anybody. Just got to get over it. Okay, keep it corners now. You got to keep out of the middle. Okay, let's go 7. Switch. Right. Forward play now. Nobody comes to the middle. Right. One more time. 7. Second hurt. Okay? Let's get the 6th one. At Collins, I'm going to be on him too. Whenever he puts the ball down, like when he starts this way, I don't know if he'll ever go back. Seems like once he starts to count, if he's got the ball where he hasn't put it down yet, he may make a quick move to go baseline. I think once he puts that thing down, then he can go left of the shot. Okay? 6. Jump hooker. Good imitation, Terry. Okay, change around. Let's change around offense, defense, once for everybody on that. Let's get a 4. Good. Right in there. Rematch game 44. Good. Give the pick. Good. Okay, good. 7. Get help on the switch. Then again. Curtis, get close to him. Look at that window. Give the jumper. You got that much room. 7. Play close. Wait, left foot up. 6. 7. Switch. Back in. Good. Okay. 6. High close down. Terry. Okay, now, let's run the Philadelphia. Let's talk about defense now, once again. Back. Here we go. Good negation. Good. Okay, that's good. Take it again.
I have a feeling that Oscar Robertson now knows why you were voted one of the best defensive players in the game.
Well, you know, I try to get out there and make him hustle, make him run, and overplay him a great deal. Because after all, he is the quarterback of the club, and if he doesn't have the ball, then that'll give him a hard time.
Have you ever played tougher defense in your life than you played for a sustained time up there?
Well, I can remember a couple of years back when we pressed the whole game, but this is probably the best and the longest we've ever pressed this season, I would say.
Do you have, when you have the key man, the quarterback like that, does that give you an extra challenge? I mean, do you just say to yourself, it's my responsibility to keep him from doing what he wants to do?
Well, yes, you know, like before the game, you concentrate on his moves and everything. You try to, before the game, go out there and say, well, I'm going to try to keep my man down low or keep him from doing this or doing that. And, well, each guy had that in their minds. They went out there and tried to keep their man from whatever they were supposed to be doing. And if they got beat, then somebody else picked them up and zoned it and helped out. So I think that's why we caused them to make a lot of mistakes, because a lot of guys made up for the mistakes other guys made.
You realize you got the last 3 baskets?
I was free a lot.
we knew we had to do a job, and we went out and pressed them, and luckily we came through. It was a very tough game, and I imagine the game on Tuesday will be just as tough, if not tougher.
Did you have a feeling in the second half as they were going along that they were becoming more and more frustrated? In other words, that they felt that there was no way they were going to be able to pull this one out?
Well, not really. I thought that they would go into the big man, which they did. But I was just hoping that we could sustain our drive, because to put the pressure on as we did for a whole game is very difficult. But we had to feel that they were getting just as tired as we were. So, luckily we are not necessarily in better shape, but that's our game running. And if they can't dominate the offensive boards, we're going to do well.
You expect that they'll try to do things differently to keep you from doing what you did on Tuesday?
I imagine they will work on it, Don, but if we play the good pressing defense, I don't think it's anything they can do. They lost McLaughlin, and he's a great outside shooter, and, we're going to put pressure on Oscar and Fitzwilliams, and if we can handle those two fellows, I think we'll have an excellent chance to do the job.
I think the press really helped us a great deal. It helped to destroy the tempo of their offense. They like to go where they want to go, and picked up the tempo of their offense, and they're very slow and conservative. And also, when we got the ball and we had the fast break opportunities, we took advantage of them for the layups or a halfway decent jump shot. And if we didn't have it, then our patent offense, we made every one of their players play real defense, and we confused their whole defensive situation by they like to play a zone with the zone principles, and I'm sure that they don't get the films and adjust, and it'll be a real chess game from here on in. But I think today's game was the fact that every one of their ball players had to play defense for 48 minutes, and instead of standing around playing an area, they had to play a man.
my shot was off down the stretch in the New York series, and in the Buffalo series, I felt real good, but I was being pressured a lot by Randy Smith, and it's tough to shoot over guys when they're all over you. But I know that in this series, if I'm shooting pretty well, it can be really helpful to what we're trying to do with Kareem in there playing inside, and I consider myself having a guy on me that can guard me really, and Fritz Williams, and if I can move and get the shots and shoot them down when the ball is kicked around, that it will be beneficial to our winning the series. So what I was trying to do is really concentrate and try and get that back, and hopefully it'll be beneficial to winning the championship.
Was this one of the toughest games physically? I don't mean as far as contact is concerned, but just the constant running, pressure.
Yeah, Don, it does take a lot out of you to press in a game like this for 48 minutes and then push the ball back up for 48 minutes. It takes quite a bit out of you, but that's what it takes to beat this club, and that's what we're going to have to do. Okay.
You've got to, shall I say, interrupt their rhythm. So they get in a rhythm, their offense, their defense, their rhythm, and they make you play their game. And what we did was make them play our game, and that's what helped.
What did you think of the job that Cheney was doing on Oscar?
Oh, I thought Cheney was fantastic. I thought JoJo was really super. I thought he played one of the best games he ever played on both ends of the court. Of course, Havlicek is Havlicek, and Collins is Collins, you begin to expect super performances. But you can't beat a team like this without a super performance by more than one or two players. You just can't do it.
Did you ever expect that they would hold a club like that to 83 points?
No, not really. Not when you figure you're going to have 30, 35, or 40 from the big guy to start with.
What do you look for Tuesday for Costello to do?
Well, I don't know what he's going to do. I know we're going to try to play the same way probably. And look, anything can happen. We got our one. They got to fight like the devil to get the one back.
You never have a lax moment. Maybe you can beat him down the court, and when you wait for him, then you kind of gather yourself together. But it's just tough because no matter where he goes, you always have to be one little step ahead of him. You always have to be trying to anticipate what he's going to do. And he's such a tremendous player, that if you give him any kind of an inch, he'll take a mile and he'll have a great game on you. And I thought he played a heck of a game today. It's just that our guards put the pressure on so well up top that they didn't have a chance to really get it into him and run their set stuff as they would have liked to. He got him tired, and their offside game wasn't working because we were playing good, tough, aggressive defense. And I have to commend the guards and the forwards for really doing an outstanding job outside, away from the ball, because that's the main way they can help me, is by pressuring the pass before it gets to him. Play the ball tough, play him tough up court, make him take a long time to get it down, and just work him, and then that old Coach Heinzen's favorite, saying, the hammering effect, it takes place, and it pays at the end.
Does he actually psychologically get you up, get your adrenaline flowing more than anybody else?
No, I know he doesn't. It's just a matter of every game in the playoffs, or every game that's a big game, your concentration is at a peak, and this is what it was tonight. You just have to really concentrate, and sometimes you can concentrate and play the best you can and you still lose, but today we just happened to win, and I think the reason was because everyone played such a together defensive game.
Dave, since you play an entirely different game when you're playing against Kareem, you're outside, does it make it more difficult for you offensively because you are playing so differently?
Does it make it more difficult, or it just makes it different? Well, you just kind of have to cover a little bit more area on the half-court perimeter, and it's different, in the fact that I play outside a lot, and the movement of the ball is such that it differs from how we would play against New York, in that the ball would go inside a lot and then stop, and then you try to work one-on-one. Where here, the ball's moving around the perimeter, and you're looking to get guys working backdoor a lot, and you spread them out. This is the main thing, to keep them moving. The only way you can do that is to keep the ball moving.
set out to at least win one game, and the pressure, I think, is still on them. They have to come to us in Boston and to play 2 games, so they've got to at least win 1 game. So we'll go back and prepare and be ready Friday.
It shows us that although we were out of the game, we came back and we fought hard, and they had to fight just to win this one. And our main goal was to at least split with them, and we split. So now we'll be at home, and we should do our thing now.
I made a good move to get myself free for the shot, but I was off balance, and I didn't know if I would have had time to readjust to gain my balance because there were only 3 seconds left. And I shot the ball. The main thing is you want to get a shot. If we would have had a little luck, that would have gone in. But we got open, and it didn't go in. And, you know, you can recall that, you know, we missed free throws here and missed layups there and still came away almost winning the ball game. But, you know, you come out in a situation like this and hope to get a split, and that's what we got.
Listen, before the thing started, I said it was going to be a tough series, and I knew it was going to be a tough series. And they're a championship caliber basketball team, well, otherwise they wouldn't be here, you know. And I feel very proud at this point that we've come here in 2 ball games, and we won 1 significantly, and we took the second one into an overtime. And I think we played great basketball.
Paul Westphal was, I think, high for you with 14 in the first half. Why didn't you use him at all hardly in the second?
Well, because we wanted to press him. Cheney's my best press man, and that's what we did it for.
Outside of the outcome, what was different tonight?
Well, we got into foul trouble early in the second quarter, and I think that their first half lead really was generated by the fact that they were shooting a lot of free throws in the second quarter. We made some bad fouls right in the beginning and got us into foul.
If anything, were you doing different today than the first game? Not you personally.
Well, the ball was going in a little more the first game, and I think that, you know, the luck wasn't there when we needed it tonight. We had some shots, and we didn't shoot particularly well, 31% or something in the first half. They shot 50-some%. When a team is shooting like that, you don't have an opportunity to fast break. If you look back over the course of the game, there could have been a lot of things that would have won the ball game if certain things happened. And the big play at the end of the game when I got the
for a loss, naturally, but at least you're going home and you had a pretty good 2 games out here. They know they've got a tough battle.
Well, that's true, and as I said, when you play this type of ball, you know, it's our style. I think we're trying to get them to play our style. And if the ball had gone in, we would have come away here with 2 games. But we're happy with the 1. Now we have to get a couple in Boston. I know they're hoping to get a split there, too. That's the way the psychology works.
What were you saying to yourself when that ball popped out? Never mind.
The thing that I was saying was what I told you. I wish I could have had my proper balance because I think that the shot would have gone in. And there was another shot prior to that, which I was called for walking, and I certainly want to see the film on that one because I did not raise my pivot foot, and I did make the hoop, but, you know, it was a referee's judgment, and that's a part of luck that you have to live with.
Thank you, Jim. Tommy, outside of the outcome.
I mean, they're a great basketball team.
Okay. When you did, I think the nearest you came to, you finally tied it up at 90-90, outscored them. They held it about 13 points in the last quarter, I think. Did you think then you must have thought you had a pretty good shot at it?
Well, also, we didn't shoot very well during the course of the game, and I think that was another factor, you know. One thing I thought perhaps we weren't as patient in our offense as we had been before, and that was it, you know. We just didn't hit well, and we had the opportunity to win the ball game. I mean, we had the last shot with 3 seconds. You know, what more can you ask? And we had a couple of chances even before that.
Was Jabbar more physical with Dave tonight than he usually is? It appeared that way. Maybe he wasn't.
No, I don't think so. I think that Jabbar played his usual tremendous basketball game that everybody expects him to play, and you know, Cowens did too. You know, Cowens. Oh, yeah.
What did you think?
You know, we just didn't play our best game, and yet it was an overtime victory, and they played a very fine basketball game, I thought, for them. You know.
Well, I think it gave us a lift because it made them make some adjustments. Mickey is a big guard, actually is a forward, and it made them, they had White on him early, and we posted up, which made them put Cheney on him, and we feel it's easier to get the ball up on White because Oscar can bring it up on him, and therefore it made them make adjustments rather than us making adjustments.
Were they playing much differently today, or was it just the fact that you people were not playing as effectively as you usually do?
Well, that's what it was. We weren't as effective offensively. I thought we hustled and scrapped on the press as well as we did all game. It's just that they were hitting their shots well, and we didn't move well offensively.
Did they surprise you very much by starting Davis?
No, not really, but we gambled a little bit. We try to hold the same lineup that we did against their guards as we had in the other games, and they started posting Davis. Then we had to make an adjustment, switch defensive situations. You know, Cheney, I wanted to try and keep him on Oscar. And Davis hit a couple, so then we had to go back and I thought JoJo did a heck of a job, but he gave 4 or 5 inches to Davis.
But you've been in a few playoffs before. Have you ever lost a tougher game than this one?
No, I've been in some just as tough, but we were fortunate enough to win them. I think this was a fantastic ball game, and I'm certainly proud of that ball club. I mean, how could you not be? Been down the whole ball game, tie it up, and go into these 2 overtimes. Unbelievable.
I was going to get that shot with 7 seconds, and he just killed it, didn't he?
Well, actually, there was a chance he could have handed off because there was about 4 seconds ago when he took the shot. But he didn't take an easy shot. He took a real tough shot. Now, that shot didn't go in. By the time it hit the rim and bounced around, the game would have been over. So, and then, to be perfectly honest, JoJo got his shot at it. 3 seconds ago, we had a shot that could have gone in and been all over.
Listen, it's a tough loss to swallow. How do you get a team up psychologically now to have to go back to Milwaukee?
Well, it's a one-game series. What the heck? It's just like they got up for this one. This is playoff time. There's no tomorrow. You know, every game is self-motivated.
You went out there before, so that's it, I guess. That's
Right. We'll do the best we can. We go out there, but we're not going to give up. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Hold it up tight. Bill.
All right. Tommy, have you? They're working?
Yeah. Go.
Have you ever lost a tougher playoff game in your career?
Well, it was just a great basketball game. That's all I can say. It was anybody's game, and they made the shot, and we didn't. We had more than our chances to win the thing, and they won it. That's all.
What did you change? You had 2 timeouts with 3 seconds, and you changed it. You had JoJo throw the ball in. With things, did you change your play then?
Oh, yeah, we saw how they were going to defense, and we tried to take advantage of their defense, and we ended up getting a shot, which is all you can really hope for. And we put the guy that we used Havlicek as a decoy, and we put JoJo in there where we think, you know, he's our next best shooter, and it's his type of shot, hoping that we could get it. It's just a lucky situation. As soon as we saw the defense, we called it. Nelson Smiley called it the timeout, and we ended up getting a shot. That's all you can ask for with 3 seconds to go.
You had a lot fewer fast break opportunities, it seemed, tonight. Was that by plan, or did they take them away from you by getting back too quickly?
Well, they were shooting very well too. You know, they shot 60% in the first half. That doesn't leave too many rebounds, and I think that's limits your fast break. We try to push it up as much as we could. We did. We ran at them as many times as I thought we could. Play.
The Celtics knew that if they won here in Boston Garden, they would once again be world champions. If they lost, they'd have to play the final game in the much less friendly confines of the Milwaukee arena. The Bucks knew that a loss meant no tomorrow. With less than 6.5 minutes gone in the game, several important things had happened. Boston had built a quick 5-point lead. Milwaukee had come back to close and build their own 5-point advantage. And Dave Cowens had committed 3 fouls. With Cowens spending a lot of time on the bench, Milwaukee built their lead to 12 points, threatening to break the game wide open. With 3.5 minutes left in the first half, Tom Heinsohn sent Cowens back on the floor, and the redhead and Paul Silas combined to close the spread. Still, the Bucks walked off at halftime with a 7-point advantage. At the opening of the fourth quarter, Cowens still had 3 personal fouls, and the Bucks still had a lead, now 6 points. Bobby Dandridge hit 2 in a row, and the margin was 10. John Havlicek got a couple of answering baskets as Boston desperately fought back. When Abdul-Jabbar hit on a 15-foot hook from the base, there was just 2.5 minutes left in the game, and Milwaukee was up by 6 points. Cowens drove on Jabbar to narrow the lead to 4. Cheney and Robertson exchanged fouls and then each scored 2 free throws. The difference, still 4. With 1:40 to play, White found Hondo open, and the score was Boston 84, Milwaukee 86. Cowens was at the same spot with 1 minute left. He tied the score in the Garden. He roughed it. One minute is a long time in pro basketball, and the Milwaukee Bucks can be one of the most devastating teams in this type of situation, but the swarming Boston defense in a full-court press kept the Bucks from shooting. Just as the 24-second clock ran out, Dave Cowens made a spectacular steal. It's the kind of play that bears another look, the kind of play that has caused Cowens' insurance rates to go up. With time running out, the Celtic defense kept the Bucks from getting into shooting position. McLaughlin seemed open for a moment in the corner, but before he got his shot away, the defense had pressured him enough for the shot to miss as the regulation game ended. The momentum was Boston. The crowd was Boston's. Everyone knew this game was theirs. Only the Bucks disagreed. Defensive play was the key as Game 6 went into overtime. The defenders forced attackers to take low percentage shots, and there was no scoring for the first minute and a half. Then Paul Silas grabbed a rebound, found Don Chaney open on the baseline, and the Celtics led by 2. With 3 minutes gone, Oscar Robertson showed why he's one of the NBA's all-time greats. A tie again. 30 seconds later, Curtis Perry made a dazzling rebounding move and put Milwaukee ahead. Just 13 seconds from victory, the Bucks were introduced to the defensive wizardry of Don Chaney as he stole the ball and gave Boston one more chance. John Havlicek took the shot that could have tied it, but missed. But Hondo wouldn't quit. He followed his own shot and with just 5 seconds left, tied the score again. 53 minutes of play between two great clubs and still dead even. A second overtime. More basketball, more excitement, more tension. Right from the tip, the John Havlicek-Bob Dandridge duel continued. When Havlicek fouled on the shot, Dandridge hit 2 free throws to put Milwaukee ahead. When Dandridge returned the foul on a backdoor play, Havlicek sank a basket and the free throw. The three-point play gave Boston a 1-point lead and set up the seesaw. Jabbar put the Bucks ahead 94-93. Hondo hit his second in a row. Boston led 95-94. Oscar shot from the baseline. Milwaukee 96-95. JoJo White tried a 20-footer. The Celtics by 1. Defense held right to the 24th second when Oscar scooped out of the lane. The Bucks led. Havlicek's third basket of the period put Boston in front again. With a minute and a half to play, Dave Cowens got called for his 6th foul and left the game. With time running out, Mickey Davis arched one high in the air, and Milwaukee had a 100-99 advantage. The clock ticked away as the Celtics maneuvered for a final shot. Havlicek aimed one for the rafter. Just 3 seconds left, and the Celtics fans danced for joy. Milwaukee had time for just one shot, if that. The plan was for Robertson to inbound a Jabbar who would pass to Dandridge for the shot. But Dandridge was tightly covered, and Jabbar was forced to take the shot himself. Boston could not have defended more perfectly than it did, but Jabbar prevailed against the great Boston defense, and the series was going to a 7th game in Milwaukee. Milwaukee felt it. The experts felt it. The momentum had swung the other way. The Bucks had that feeling of rebirth. The feeling of being 3 seconds from disaster and coming back. Now they were heading home. This was the lull before they would storm the Celtics in front of those loyal Buck fans. If the Celtics knew that they were underdogs, it didn't show. Maybe the tide had turned, but they were determined upstream swimmers. The Bucks had a lot of things going for them. Momentum, psychological and home court advantages. The visitors had something going for them too. It was called Celtic pride. Indefinable, but still it was there. The knowledge of 11 past championships, of never having lost the final game in a championship round. It had something to do with the way the Celtics had always come back. Typical was the 6th game of the 1969 playoffs. The Lakers had the Celtics on the ropes. Just moments left in the game, Elgin Baylor couldn't keep the ball in bounds, and the Celtics had the ball. It went to Sam Jones, who shot off balance and off the wrong foot. That basket won the game, an opportunity for the Celtics to go on to win the championship in Game 7. It was the last of Boston's 11 titles. Now they were to find out if Celtic pride would make it 12. If they were to win it, it would have to be on Milwaukee's court in front of a Buck crowd. What goes through a mind of a player going into a 7th game of a championship playoff? If there is one player who could talk about it with authority, it is Captain John Havlicek.
It's like a heavyweight championship fight, and it's the 15th round, and everyone's going to give 100%, and no one's going to give up. You're going to play as hard as you can, as long as you can, and as well as you can, because there is no more one game. The season is over as of today, and this is exactly what we did.
The Celtics were up for this one, and Dave Cowens higher than anyone as he controlled the tap to Havlicek. John fed Don Chaney perfectly, and the Celtics jumped into the lead. Just before halftime, the Boston defense, which caused 11 turnovers in the first half, started the Celtics on a scoring spree. Havlicek hit on a jumper, followed by a Don Nelson jumper. Cowens closed out the period with 2 baskets of his own. The Celtics were the owners of a 13-point lead when they went to the dressing room. One of the most important factors in that lead was a tremendous gamble taken by the Celtic coaches. Paul Silas remembers it well.
Before the game, Tommy Heinsohn came up with the idea that we were going to front Jabbar. Previously we hadn't, and we had good success against Jabbar playing behind him. And I thought that it was a courageous move on Tommy's part to almost change our whole defensive strategy going into the 7th game when it meant everything. But of course it did work. They weren't able to get the ball into Jabbar, and they were kind of stymied. After a team starts shooting poorly from the outside, they press a little. And when they can't get the ball on the inside, especially to their number 1 scorer, they have problems. And this was the thing that we did to change our defensive strategy, was to play in front of Jabbar. And myself and Nelson were on the weak side, giving help to Cowens as he would front Jabbar.
The defensive strategy worked so well that Abdul-Jabbar was held scoreless throughout the 2nd period and half of the 3rd. One other important factor was the play of Paul Westphal. Don Chaney got in early foul trouble. When Duck had to come out, Westy was under tremendous pressure to come through. All Westphal did was fit perfectly into the Boston defense, containing the veteran Oscar Robertson. And contribute 12 critical points. the end of the third quarter, the Bucks staged a 10-point rally that put them back in contention. Early in the fourth period, the Boston defense was still harassing the Bucks into mistakes, while the Celtics rattled off 8 straight points on baskets from close in. More defense, and a Cowan's Havlicek burst of points put the game beyond doubt. Hondo started it with a drive up the middle that became a 3-point play. After Paul Westphal hit a couple of free throws, Cowans hit a jumper from the corner. The Boston defense smothered the Bucks. Then Dave took a pass from Westphal for 2 more points. Havlicek made it 10 points without a Milwaukee score. With a minute to go and a 17-point lead, it was all over. The Bucks knew it. The fans knew it, and Tommy Heinsohn sat his regulars down to enjoy a rare view of a basketball game from the bench. When the end came, it didn't take a basketball expert to distinguish the winners from the losers. The celebration grew in the champions' dressing room. The news of the selection of John Havlicek as the playoffs MVP didn't hurt the mood either. They had won the game, they had to win. For Coach Heinsohn and Captain Havlicek, it felt like old times. It was a familiar experience for President Red Auerbach, championship number 12 in his book of Boston. But it was a first for owner Bob Schmertz, who felt it was a pleasant experience and was willing to have it again.